Hi everyone, let me tell you a story. An improvised solo RPG story. This one will be inspired by Indiana Jones because I'm in the mood for adventure. We'll be using Scarlet heroes. We'll be using Mythic Game Master emulator. And to add some spice to all this, I'll be asking some world-building questions to you.com, an AI chatbot a bit like ChatGPT. So let's get started. Since I'm inspired by Indiana Jones, I think the first step is to come up with an artifact that will draw my character into the adventure. I could come up with it myself, but it wouldn't be very fun. There wouldn't be any surprise in that. So here's where you.com comes in. My first prompt will be, I am playing an Indiana Jones inspired role-playing game set in a medieval fantasy setting. I need you to generate 3 artifacts that might interest my character. For each artifact, give me a general physical description. What did this artifact signify when it was first created? Tell me in which kind of environment, desert, snow, mountains, etc., we would find it, and most importantly, what is the power of this artifact and why was it sealed away? Each choice should be between 50 and 100 words long. Let's see what it comes up with. That's pretty good. I have the Sword of Azathoth, I have the Tear of Icicle, and the Staff of Salamander. So I really like those 3 choices, but I think I'm gonna go with the first one. So the Sword of Azathoth is a long silver-bladed katana with intricate engravings decorating its hilt. When it was first created, it signified the power and authority of Azathoth, a great sorcerer who fashioned it to protect his kingdom from enemy invasions. The sword is said to be hidden deep within the desert ruins of Azathoth's fortress and can only be reached after passing through deadly traps and encountering ferocious guardians. The sword's power lies in its ability to summon a powerful sandstorm which can be used to repel enemies and weaken their attacks. The sword was sealed away by Azathoth himself during his final moments, as he feared the destructive power it would bring when wielded by those with evil intentions. Now that we have our artifact, we need a main protagonist and also a sidekick, because there's always a sidekick in Indiana Jones. There's Short Round, there's the female sidekicks, there's Indiana Jones' son. I will again ask you.com to give me 3 choices. And the prompt is as follows. I am playing an Indiana Jones inspired role-playing game set in a medieval fantasy setting. I'm repeating that because I want to make sure it understands that part. I need you to help me come up with a main character that will act as an action hero. I need 3 choices. One should be a warrior, and the other 2 should be more dexterity based, such as the thief or ranger. Because if you don't know about Scarlet heroes, there are 4 classes. Clerics, which would not really fit with Indiana Jones. Fighters, which might. Magic users, don't want to play as one of them. And thief. So I reckon thief and fighter would be the best Indiana Jones type characters. I need a short physical description for each character, a short background detailing what are their origins and how they became ardent adventurers, how they heard about the Sword of Azathoth artifact, and what kind of environment they were born into. Is it desert lands, snowy lands, or temperate forests? Also, give a sidekick to each of them. A sidekick is not hardened like the adventurers, but they should be good either in history, natural knowledge, healing, or survival. They should basically play a support role, but I don't think they'll be participating in combat. The sidekick can be male or female. each choice should be between 100 and 200 words. That is quite a prompt. I hope it's gonna work. Oh, looks like it is working. So we have Carol, the mighty warrior, Sariel, the sneaky thief, that's the woman, and Arvid, the quick-footed ranger. I'll let you read those entries, and I will read the one I pick. So, the choice is really not easy, because I really like the first two options. The first one would be very straightforward. He's a warrior for hire, a mercenary, and a psychic is a healer. That would work very, very well in combat. I think we would win the day. Sariel is a little bit more interesting, but she's not really a hero. That's my issue. So she's like a agile woman with dark hair and piercing green eyes, born in the temperate forest. She was an orphan, learned to survive by stealing and hustling. She became a thief for hire. And the sidekick is Marcus, who is a personal librarian, which I kinda like. In this case, Sariel would be the more action character, and Marcus would be the person who really tells me about the background of wherever the artifact is. So I will go with Sariel, but it's gonna be trickier. It's kind of funny because the last Indiana Jones has been criticized for its insufferable female protagonist, and here I am with a character that could be similar to that woman that's not very liked. So I'll have to be wary not to make her insufferable. But I'm up for the challenge. Now I'm at the step of filling in my character sheet. I don't want to drag you through the whole process, but I do want to show you when I roll my attributes, since that's gonna affect the game quite a lot, and I want you to see that I'm not cheating. So it's just like in D&D, I roll 4d6s, I drop the lowest, add them together, and then, you know, I'm gonna be assigning them to strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. Pretty much as expected. So let's see how lucky I get. First roll. I have 11 plus 6, 17. Wow, that is a good roll. Oh shit, but I have to drop the lowest one. Hang on, I'm dumb. So I drop this one, and I get 14. Oh shit, that is an awful roll. So that's a 9. Oh, I'm not rolling too good. That's another 9. So I still have 3 rolls. Please, please, please be much, much, much better. Okay, obviously I dropped this one. And this is another 14. Could be worse, but could be a lot better. So I'll drop this, and this is a 10. One last roll. Please be 18. Yeah, I can dream. Fudge, that is very bad. So it's like a 8. Ew! Have you seen such a shitty attribute roll in a long time, eh? Okay, so my rolls are not very high. At least in Scarlet Heroes, they make you swap one of your attributes for 16. But yeah, like, I have at least a 1 minus 1, which I'll keep to be fair. So here's Sariel. She's a level 3 human thief, because she's a little bit experienced, so I don't want to have her start at level 1. I changed one of her scores into a 16, but I was fair. I didn't take my 8 and turn it into a 16. I took one of the 14s. So 14 strength, 16 dexterity, 9 constitution, 9 intelligence, 10 wisdom, and 8 in charisma. She is not very charismatic, which should make her a little bit more human. She's like a tough girl, but she's kind of awkward. So thieves, they get a lot of traits. You'll see that's what they use to describe their general abilities, unlike in Dungeons and Dragons where you have a whole list that you fill in. In this game it's a little bit more loose. So she's really good at sneaking, lockpicking, and being alert. She's good at outdoor survival. She knows the underworld and how to contact them. And she also plays the flute a little bit. She has a dirk, so kind of like a long dagger, a knife, and a short crossbow. And she's equipped with a gambeson, which I'm gonna use instead of leather armor because those were a lot more common. Now we need to generate a few more prompts with the AI before we're ready to get into our first scene. What makes the fortress hard to access? Is there a magical spell? Are there dangerous guardians or monsters? Is it underground? Is it a lost location? Give me 3 choices, each with a short description. The choices should be between 50 and 100 words. Let's see what it gives me. So I get the Obsidian Fortress, the Lost City of Sand, and the Sunken Citadel. Well, okay, so it didn't do such a good job because 2 of them don't really work with the desert. But the middle one is just right, so that's what I'm gonna pick. The Lost City of Sand is a sprawling network of ruins buried under the shifting sands of the desert. The city was once home to a powerful sorcerer who crafted the sword. The city is accessible only via a hidden portal, which requires a complex ritual to open. Once inside, adventurers must navigate treacherous sandstorms and go through crumbling buildings while avoiding deadly traps left behind by the sorcerer. Sounds good, though how do you have sandstorms in a buried city? Oh well, we'll just have to see. Perhaps it's just the sorcerer's magic. To illustrate our story, I decided to draw a little map. As you can see, I'm following the province scale from Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. So each square is 1 mile, and you have a city near the water, you have a little town near an oasis, and then you have a lot of desert. And the idea is that somewhere in this desert will be the sunken city, will be, how did we call it, the Lost City of Sand. Before I get into my first scene, I want to give one last prompt to you.com. I need you to come up with 3 names. The first one is for a city in the desert. It is in a nice area surrounded by palm trees, near a large stretch of desert. I need the name for a city near an oasis in the desert, and I need a name for the desert itself. Give me 3 options for each name and, whoops, little typo. And give me a short rationale for why you chose those names. The names could be vaguely Arabic, reflecting names we might find around the Sahara Desert. We have Al-Wadi, our big city, Ruma, the oasis, and Al-Badia, the desert. Awesome. Well, I guess we're ready to start the first scene. Sariel and the Sword of Azathoth. Scene 1, Chaos 5. Sariel has been given an assignment through a third party. There is a rich merchant in Al-Wadi who collects old scrolls and antiques. The client is willing to pay 200 gold pieces to get a number of scrolls from the man's lavish home. Since Sariel is illiterate, she is bringing along Marcus to help her make sure she has the proper scrolls. So she'll have to have him stand by as she does the burglary, most likely. So she might need him to be there while she steals the scrolls. So if you don't know about Mythic Game Master Emulator, when you begin a scene, you say what you expect will happen, and then you have to roll a d10 to see if it goes as planned. This is what I'm gonna do right now. I got a 5, which means it goes as expected. Sariel and Marcus are along the shore of the river, under the shade of some palm trees. Sariel is leaning against a tree trunk, while Marcus is sitting in the sand, going over the thief's instructions.
This guy's got to be very, very rich. Look at all those guards. No wonder the pay is good on this one.
Marcus lifts his head up from his scroll to look at the woman. It's almost funny to see her wearing something as free-flowing as these long white robes. Usually she's always in her thick linen gambeson. You know, you almost look like the women from here. You just need a little bit more of a tan.
Yeah, well, don't get used to it.
She replies with a little bit of annoyance flashing across her face. So now I have 2 questions I'm gonna ask. First, does the home have multiple levels? So I will be throwing 2 d10s to do like a d100, a percentile dice. And I think the odds are 50-50 that there's gonna be multiple levels, because that's a rich person's house. 37 means it's a yes. So it does have multiple levels. Now, is there a separate building for the servants? I think that's likely, because once again, he's rich, and why not show off his wealth? So 88, that is a no, but in Mythic, when you roll a double, it means you have to roll a special event. So we have to roll on a percentile die again, and it'll dictate what's the random event. That's an 80, therefore it is negative for the player character. At this point I could roll randomly some more to see how is it negative, but I have a pretty good idea. I mean, we're doing some reconnaissance, so it's gonna mean that the security is extra tight. I wanna utilize the AI one more time, just for it to give me a vague layout of the home, so that in the next scene, when we break in, it's gonna be a little bit more surprising than just me coming up with what's in there. Here's my prompt. I hope it works. Alright, so we have a grand entrance hall, an inner garden, servant's quarter, kitchen, master bedroom, children's bedroom, storage rooms, guard quarters, study. That's good, that's probably where the scrolls are. Artifact room, although the scrolls could be hidden somewhere else. This rich man's home is a massive sprawling mansion that exudes luxury and status from every corner. The walls are made of polished stones, adorned with fine details in carved wood. The windows are tall and wide, letting in plenty of light and fresh air. The roof is a stretch of red tiles, making the house stand out in the surrounding landscape. The house has multiple levels, including a 2-level grand entrance, and is surrounded by a perimeter wall with grand gates made of wrought iron. Alright, well, that's gonna be a challenge to break in. Between the maze-like architecture, the large iron doors securing the perimeter, and the multiple guards posted at each entrance. Sariel feels the pressure mounting inside of her.
This is going to be tough.
So this is going to be the end of the first scene. And I am adding +1 in chaos because we're noticing it's not gonna be very easy. This is tough. So that's the part that's kind of fun but challenging with solo role-playing, is that I'm put in the place of the character and now I have to figure out how can I make this a little easier on myself. Because I feel like if I just go in there as is, without any kind of distraction or anything to help me, I feel like I'm gonna get killed or caught or something like that. It would be really good if my character could somehow visit this home. We start scene 2 and we're at chaos 6. So I thought about it and I'm thinking maybe Marcus, being a scholar, maybe he could come up to the house and ask if he can study the artifacts. Maybe the merchant would be proud enough of his collection that he would feel like honored to have him over. But we'll see, maybe I won't be so lucky. So to test my expectation, I will throw a d10 and we'll try to have over the chaos factor of 6. Otherwise, something unexpected will happen. We have a 6. Hang on. Wait, am I stupid? Hang on. Oh, did we have a 5 before? I might have screwed it up. Okay, so I might have screwed it up for the first scene, but actually, when you get the exact number as your chaos factor, you get an unexpected result. I didn't remember that. So, since I get a 6, it's gonna be what's called an interrupt scene. So I have to roll a random event. $24. This is an NPC action. So realistically, I have only 2 NPCs right now, because Marcus is like a player character. However, I have the rival thief, which was mentioned in the character background, and I have the rich merchant, which is right there. So according to this game, I have to choose at random which character is doing the action. Therefore, I'll be rolling a d4. On a 1 or a 2, it's the rival thief. On a 3 and a 4, it's the rich merchant. So, since I don't exactly know what he's gonna do, I'm gonna roll at random to give me some inspiration. So, in Mythic, we are given these very useful action tables. So, I will roll once on action 1 and once on action 2. We get a 12 and a 64. Okay, this is a little cryptic. Bestow opposition. Bestow opposition. Not sure I'm pronouncing this right, but hey. As Sariel and Marcus start making their way back to the tavern, they see a man dressed like the local fisherman walking towards them. At first they make nothing of it. He might well be one of the people working along the riverbank. But the chief woman, recognizing something familiar about him.
Well. Didn't think I'd see you here, sorry.
Sariel can't help but blush. That's Dario, a fellow chief whom she had a very short-lived relationship with many years ago. The mention of his name always brings a shudder to her spine, but seeing him in the flesh is much more upsetting.
I guess you are not here for leisure, so it'll be business.
He tries to get information out of them. So we're gonna have a charisma contest to see if I can get information out of him or if he gets information out of me. I'm gonna give him a +1, and I have my -1 in charisma. So it's probably gonna be him who wins. So first, Sariel. So that is a 9. Now Dario. That is a 14. Of course I lose. Ugh. Since Sariel got a pretty good roll, but Dario got an amazing one, I'm still giving her a tiny bit of information, but it's delivered in a very frustrating way that makes her feel like he's running circles around her.
That slimy Dario!
Exclaims Sariel a few minutes later.
He freaking tricked me!
Well, I guess that's his specialty, replies Marcus with a sigh.
He clearly knows we're here for the merchant. Did you hear him say, "I hope I'll see you at the party on Friday"? He's just taunting me, so I feel worse than him.
At least now we have a way in, says Marcus.
Yeah, but he's got to be planning something,
she replies. Sariel is still in her thoughts as they get back to the tavern. It feels like Dario knows about the job a lot better than she does. That is not a good sign. At least they have a way in now, but they might also have competition. So this is the end of the second scene, and I'm adding 1 to the chaos because this is getting more and more unexpected and hard to predict. With this, I will end the video. I hope you enjoyed. Sure, there wasn't any fighting for now, though it's gonna come soon. But I think I'm leaving you in a pretty good moment of suspense. Next time we'll be going into the party, most likely, and trying to steal those scrolls. Hopefully before Dario steals them right under our nose. Although, is that what he's planning to do? I frankly don't know. I will have to roll for that at some appropriate point. So I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye!